this community is so welcoming and so encouraging and friendly. I was telling Jean, I'm quite overwhelmed this morning. I have not been in a community quite like this before. So thank you so much for your hospitality. And I've already heard a lot of stories this morning, which we're all in this together, aren't we? So thanks for wanting to know more about mental health and reducing stigma and how we can partner together. October is Depression and Mental Health Awareness Month, and we try to bring some more awareness to our own mental health and others, and ways that we can support each other. And I'm honored to be with you today and introduce a resource to you. Over the past 2 years, mental health has received much attention. It's been in the news, on social media, and it has been prevalent in our own lives as well. I do remember when COVID started, I felt like there was so much information on TV about the numbers around COVID, right? We were hearing it every day on the news. This many people died, this many cases of COVID. And being in the mental health world, I kept thinking, why aren't they talking about substance use disorder and mental health? Because that is a big deal right now. We have people struggling. But they never did. But we are hearing more about it now, the results of COVID. 1 out of every 5 Americans is experiencing a diagnosed mental illness. So look around, 1 out of every 5 of you. We're all in it together, right? And half of us are struggling, over 50% of people struggle with their mental health over the past 2 years, which definitely, that's believable. It's a topic all of us have some experience with, whether it's our neighbor, ourselves, our family, a friend. And I guess after all, that does make sense. We are human beings. We're humans, so we have minds and we have bodies, and it has to be cared for. Mental Health Connect is a collaborative nonprofit organization, and we partner with over 35 churches in the Twin Cities area. It all started 8 years ago, as Jean touched on, as a grassroots movement in our South Minneapolis faith communities. Families within those faith communities really wanted to know, where are the tools, where are the resources, and how can our faith communities guide us in that? St. Joan of Arc has been our partner ever since the beginning. Thank you. Together, we're helping individuals, families, faith communities, and even our larger community better understand mental health and recovery. We answer questions that we all have, like, what does anxiety look like? What does that mean? How do I know if I have anxiety? And do I need to get some help? What do you do if you have depression or you feel like you're hopeless? How can I help someone I care about get treatment or get support? And always, where is there a counselor that will take my insurance? We get that one a lot. I am passionate about this work, and I'm honored to be the executive director because I have my own personal experience with mental illness and addiction. My oldest son, Cole, was diagnosed with bipolar disorder when he was 19 years old. And I will be honest with you, that diagnosis took a long time to get. There were many years of a long and winding road of getting him to the point where we could get a diagnosis, which also allowed us to get the support and the help that he needed. One of the things I loved about my son Cole is he was very funny. He had a very dry sense of humor, kind of like me, and we could laugh together at the same things. As some of you can imagine, our entire family was turned upside down with that diagnosis. And when he was just 24 years old, he passed away due to complications from his mental illness and substance use. This is not something that he ever imagined that he would have to go through. He did not think he was going to die He did not think that it was going to get to that point, and neither did we. During those years, we had many challenges of finding him help at different points throughout his journey. And that included struggles with depression, bullying, hospital stays, counselors, psychiatrists, and even being homeless at times. There was so much confusion around where to go, who to call, and who would not say, no, we don't do that on the other end of the phone. If any of you have had to call around to find mental health resources, you have heard the answer of, no, that's not our area, we don't support that, we don't do that. It's very difficult to hear that on the other end. Through that journey, I of course struggled with my own mental health. As I'm sure there are many of you in the room, or a handful of you at least, that have lost a child, and it's devastating. There are a lot of people out there, like my son, like our family, and in our faith communities, workplaces, and our neighbors. I am able to take this tragedy and use this information and the tools that I gathered for all those years to help and share with others. And I will be honest with you, it has definitely been part of my healing journey, and it has grown my faith. Also not something I would have ever anticipated. So here's how Mental Health Connect partners, supports, and collaborates. And it really does all of the things that I wish I had known about back then. I wish I had known about Mental Health Connect. Number one, we provide relevant training and education and outreach in the community. We feel like it really helps to reduce stigma as we share our stories with each other and build community and talk about mental health and wellness. Number two, we collaborate with over 35 faith communities in the Twin Cities, providing a monthly education opportunity that gives them training, tools, and resources so that churches can be safe places for all of us to go and find help. And number three, we have a warm line. We call it our navigation line. Text, email, or call us. Our experienced caring navigators will answer the phone, listen, and they have resources, and they understand the mental health and recovery system. They'll help you find your next good step. It's free, confidential, and it is open to anyone. The mental health care system is so confusing. If you have a physical issue, we really have two avenues to go with our physical health. One is we make a doctor's appointment, and we get in to see our doctor. We tell them what we have going on, and they run us through the system, right? They tell us what our next steps are. If it is a crisis, we need to call 911. The mental health system is not that easy to understand. If you have a mental health concern, what would you do? What would your first step be? We don't always know where to turn. It's not that easy. Mental Health Connect is the only organization of its kind that collaborates with our faith communities and provides this much-needed service of navigation for you. It's free, and it's 100% supported through our faith communities. We would love your support and your knowledge, and if you're interested in volunteering, but at least come and get to know us. We're out in the welcome area. We have brochures out there we'll be available to talk to. We are having a concert this afternoon in Minnetonka if anyone's bored. It's beautiful outside, so we're having an outdoor concert. And our intern, Sarah, is out in the Welcome Center. She's from Augsburg College, so please chat with her as well. Thank you so much for being here and welcoming me.